Hello, YouTubers. I'm Tom, and in the beautiful city of Chicago, and this is part two of the Crankshaft installation series. If you haven't seen part one, you might want to check that out. I'll make a playlist and things like that, so you can just go through them all. There'll be several different parts because I only have the 15-minute limit. But in this video, Big Blue is going to get the crankshaft put in the bottom end. It's going to take a little bit. We've got a lot of torques and finagling to do to get that thing in. But let's get started. And again, I am not affiliated with anybody. You'll hear SBT Performance. I'm not affiliated. They're not sponsoring me, and no manufacturers are. But old Big Blue's got to get running here, and let's get to work on that. All right, we're ready to install the crankshaft into the bottom end. The whole bottom end here is upside down. All the bolts are on the bottom, and I'll show you what we got here. Let me put that down. Okay, in here, these are the oil holes. I'm pretty sure you can see these holes that are drilled in. This gets the oil to the bearings. There's little notches here, and there's little pins on the bearings. These pins go in the notches, and they prevent the bearing from spinning like around. The crankshaft spins around the bearing, so that's the way that works. Right now, what we have to do is get our grease or oil seals on, and Yamaha recommends just a touch of grease on these. So I put a little grease around that, put a little grease around this, just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. And the important thing about this is the spring goes on the outside with the metal on the inside. So this one goes like this and like yay. Okay, on the back, same thing. The springs, but they've got two. And one of the springs goes on towards the pork chop here, and the other spring goes to the outside of the engine. I guess they did it for double sealing the rear part, because it's probably going to be exposed to a lot of water and things like that. So we spread a little bit of grease on this, just a little bit. And these are a little difficult to get on. They don't want to cooperate sometimes. They're little, gotta press just a little bit. There we go. There we go. And then this one goes on, just a little touch. There we go. And there we are. Now the hard part. I have to get everything lined up, and that can be kind of tricky. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Oh, this thing weighs a ton. I feel like I'm at the gym. Okay, so now I want it like this. I want those pins up to start. And then this goes like that. If I could just get this, yeah, there we go. And get this. This should seat. There's the bearing on the end was put on backwards. I straightened it out, reversed it. Now I'm trying to get that bearing to seat correctly by getting the hole in the bearing to seat over a pin. It's kind of tricky to do. They're really tight tolerances, and everything has to fit just perfectly. So I'm going to play around with this. It takes a little bit. I've got the bearing to seat correctly. Now I've got to get those pins in the slots. And that takes a little bit too. But you can see it's moving nice and free now.
There we go. We got it in there. Looks good.
All right. Let's get the bottom end on and get it torqued down. Oh. Now this could be a little tricky because you have to line everything up.
Getting everything to line up is going to be a little tricky. The oil seals need to fit in those grooves correctly, and it's kind of tricky, but you just play with it and it will fit, and don't force anything. Just let it slide in.
All right, took a little bit, but it's in the oil seals, looking good. It spins nice and free. We're in good shape here. So on to the torque. 2 torque sets. First 11 foot-pounds, then 19 foot-pounds. So I will get to work on that. That's going to take a while. I'll probably have to speed this up, but we have the Loctite, and let's get started. And it is 11, we're set, and we go 1, 2, so they're labeled. Okay, there's 1. Two. All right. I have to change the Newton meters, and it was 19, or is 27 Newton meters or 19 foot-pounds. I'll go with 27 Newton meters. Seven, right there, there. All right, and we start with the inner ones. So we go, oops, inner ones, these guys. 1, there's click, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be over here, 6. All right, I've got everything torqued down. Initially, I got out of sequence with the torque. And what I did wrong was there's these outer bolts, and then there's these inner bolts. I had torqued the inner ones down at 11 foot-pounds, according to the manual. But then I torqued these outer bolts down at 11 foot-pounds. These only get 8 foot-pounds. And according to the torque sequence, you're supposed to torque these main bolts down at 11 foot-pounds, then at 19 foot-pounds. Then you go ahead and torque these outer bolts down at 8 foot-pounds. It seems like they're not holding the crankshaft in place, but that's a sequence you have to do. And it looks pretty good, and we're ready to go on to the next step. And our next step will be putting in the flywheel and the coupler on the end here. I want to do that right now because I've got my little stand here, which is really nice because it keeps it stable. But let me get it positioned so you guys can see the torque and what we're going to be doing for the flywheel. It's going to be a little tricky to get that on. I don't have the flywheel tool, holding tool, but I have a way to hold it in place, and I have to torque the flywheel and then the coupler back here, so it's going to get a little tricky. So let's get started on that. I'm going to rearrange things, rearrange the camera so you get a better view.
Okay, we're going to have to end this video here because of the 15-minute time limit imposed by YouTube. And the next video in part 3, we will be installing the flywheel and the coupler that goes on the other end of the engine. The coupler connects directly to the jet pump, and I think it would be an interesting video for you to view. If you like this one, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on part 3. Thanks much.